What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Avengers news update. Now, obviously, recently we've had a ton of information on this game, tons of characters, vehicles, open world details, all that good stuff, and tomorrow we're getting an open world trailer, which is just crazy. But today, we actually got some DLC pack news. A few things I need to mention is one of the DLC packs that is available that you're going to be getting for pre-ordering. I don't know the retailer, and I can't find it anywhere, so until I find, what I'll probably do is I'll put in the description or I'll put in the comment section or something when I find out which one it is, but for now I don't know which one it is. The other one I do know where to pre-order, which is great, and the other DLC pack is actually the Season Pass, but we'll talk more about what that could be at the end of the video. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so the first DLC pack we're going to be talking about is the Avengers Adventurer character pack. Now, as you can see here, this is on the box of an Xbox One version of the game. Most likely applies to the PS4, Xbox One, PS3, and Xbox 360 version. Sorry for the Wii U users, I have no word on if DLC is ever going to come to you, but for now, it's just PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PS4, and Steam as well. Steam is also going to be getting all these DLCs as well. So yes, this is the Avengers Adventurer character pack, and the only character we know that we're getting is this scuba gear looking Captain America. Now, the cool thing about this is actually one of the figures that you're going to get in the 2016 Marvel sets, and these aren't the ones based on the movies. These are based on I think just the comics or the cartoons or something. They're based on one of those, and you're getting a scuba gear Captain America. Now, there are other figures that come with those sets, and I don't know if they're going to, be included with this, so I'm not going to talk about them necessarily because I don't want to get people's hopes up. But it's very likely that the other sets that are coming out in 2016 that aren't based on the movie are probably going to be with this pack. Or not. Maybe they could be included in a separate DLC pack. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, Scuba Gear Captain America is the only one. Now, what's cool about this is we have no word whatsoever on if there's any water gameplay. If there's any reason to go underwater in this game at all. We haven't heard anything on... Actually, I think Namor was recently debunked. Namor isn't in the game. Arthur confirmed that. So Namor is not in the game, so there's probably not any water gameplay for him. But maybe there's something, because why else would they give us a scuba gear Captain America? It just makes me think. Or, maybe it's just because it's what the LEGO set is and they wanted to include it into a DLC pack. And for now, it's just characters. I have no word on if this pack's going to include vehicles or even missions. But again, we will just have to wait and see. Alright, so before we talk about the extremely exciting Thunderbolts DLC pack, I'd just like to mention, unlike the previous pack I was just talking about, this one I do actually know where you can get it from. So basically, all you got to do is, if you live in the US, you pre-order from bestbuy.com on either PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, or Xbox One. Those are the only versions of the game that you will get this DLC pack for when you pre-order the game. So yeah, the Wii U and everything else, no word on if they're coming to them just yet. Anyway, yes, this is the Thunderbolts DLC pack. The Thunderbolts are going to be in this game in a DLC pack, but it's still really cool. And actually, Red Hulk is a Thunderbolt, I think, either now or used to be. He's definitely been one in the comics, and he's actually in the main game. So there you go, you've got a Thunderbolt in the main game, and you've got some DLC pack ones. Now, as you can see from this image, it is incredibly blurry and tiny, and I can barely see any of it. And I've usually got pretty good eyesight, but I cannot for the life of me work out what any of the text says. However, I've been able to work out 1.5, and the reason I say 1.5 is because, one, that is clearly Citizen V. It's clearly him, so, that one is confirmed. Citizen V comes with this DLC pack, which is great, and you can see him in this awesome artwork. The other one, I put a question mark in the thumbnail because I don't want to get people's hopes up and then only for them to get the pack and not even have this character in, but it's Moonstone. She might be in this DLC pack. It's what I can read. I've tried my best to try and confirm that, but that's what I can see. I could be entirely wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Moonstone, she was a Thunderbolt, so I could see that happening. I could definitely see Moonstone being in this DLC pack, but again, the text is so blurry I can barely see anything else. But let me know, guys, if you can see any of the characters in that text, in that very blurry text. Let me know if you can work out some of them that I couldn't. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description for the Best Buy link so you can pre-order it, but you can also download the image of this artwork and see if you can work it out for yourself, because I'm really interested to know what the other characters might be, because there's 7 characters in total, so you get quite a lot for it, which is pretty cool. Alright, so last but most certainly not least, we finally have confirmation on LEGO Marvel's Avengers getting a Season Pass. That's right, this game is finally getting a Season Pass, and I am extremely excited. So let's talk about it. So as you can see in the description here, it doesn't really give anything away, but it's still interesting. So it says, Avengers Assemble. Pre-order the Deluxe Edition and gain access to the additional full Season Pass content. Now basically, if you'd like to find this page, all you got to do is click the link in the description that I've put, and it will take you to the US PlayStation Store and prove that this is real. That's basically the main reason, unless you want to pre-order it, but I would recommend, if you're in the US and you want to get the digital version, pre-order it on the actual PlayStation Store on your PS4. I just think that's safer in my opinion. Right, so basically, the thing I want to mention here is that what you're getting when you buy this is the digital version of the PlayStation 4 version of LEGO Marvel's Avengers, but also the Season Pass. Now, I highly doubt that the digital version is getting the Season Pass early or anything like that. I would imagine, because for me personally, when it comes to digital downloads, I only do that on PC. I do not do that on PS4. I personally prefer having a physical copy of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the physical copy. It's going to come in the mail. I'm going to go on the PlayStation Store and hopefully check and download the Season Pass. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get the digital version with it. So I'm sure you can all do that come January 26th in the US and January 29th in Europe on Xbox Live Marketplace, PlayStation Store, and most likely Steam as well. Now then, the thing that is probably on everyone's minds right now is, what is this pack gonna come with? What are we actually gonna get with this? Obviously, I have no idea. I have no idea what we're actually gonna get yet. I have a few ideas of what it might be, but I'm not 100% certain. Now, obviously, once I am certain, once I find out, I will of course do a video and talk all about it because it's going to be amazing. But my guesses right now is, first off, is Guardians of the Galaxy. If that team isn't in the main game, it is hands down going to be in a DLC pack, because the Guardians of the Galaxy went from one of the most unknown teams in the general public to one of the most popular teams in movie history, at least to me. I mean, I know people that had never heard of those characters and now absolutely love them. They have like t-shirts and phone covers and just wallpaper and posters and all sorts and action figures of these characters just after seeing one movie. That's how popular the Guardians of the Galaxy are now. Some would argue that the Guardians of the Galaxy are more popular than the Avengers. That's how big they are. So I highly doubt that if they aren't in the main game, they definitely are in a DLC pack. I'm almost certain of it. But again, I don't want to get people's hopes up because I could be totally wrong. Next up, Ant-Man. Ant-Man has to be in this game. I'm almost certain of it. Just like Guardians of the Galaxy, that got a Lego set. It got really well praised. Everyone loves Ant-Man now. I remember talking to people about Ant-Man, saying it was coming out, and they were really confused how a superhero could be named that. They didn't like the name. They thought the name sounded just not cool. And now that we actually have seen the movie, we all think Ant-Man is one of the coolest superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. At least I do. I think he's amazing, and I really, really hope there is a DLC pack based on this movie. Hopefully, maybe a mission in, set in one of the scenes from the film. Hopefully, we can play as Ant-Man in Yellow Jacket and all that kind of stuff. So I really, really think we're going to get that. Next up is Civil War. Now, we are all so excited about this movie. I can't wait. I mean, Spider-Man's big Marvel Cinematic Universe debut plus Black Panther, and we're going to see Captain America and Iron Man's team just go at it. I can't contain my excitement for that film. I'm so excited. And I'm almost certain that we're going to get a DLC pack for this because, one, it's already been confirmed that it's going to get some Lego sets. So why not help, the publicity of that film, both being in the Lego sets in reality, but also in a video game. And plus, that would set us up for the next few years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'd have new versions of, say, War Machine. We'd have we could possibly even have the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man. We might even get that. I think we would most likely get Black Panther, which is awesome because I love the costume in that movie. So, yes, I think Civil War is very likely. Now, I'm trying to think of 6, and I can't think of 6 DLC packs, so I'm just going to keep going until I can run out. Next up, I would probably say is Spider-Verse. I really hope Spider-Verse is in the game, because if Spider-Man, literally, I keep saying to you all, Spider-Man isn't in the game, and that's what I've heard in articles, but I've never heard Arthur just straight out say, yes, he's not in the game. I've never heard him say that. I've heard him say that to Deadpool. Deadpool is not in this game, but Spider-Man, I have not heard him say nope. I've just heard articles, so I always say that just in case, because again, I don't want to get people's hopes up. So if Spider-Man isn't in the main game, I think it's quite possible he might be in a DLC pack. Next up, I'm going to say Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange I personally think is unlikely, because this is a movie, if I remember correctly, comes out in November. Now, let's say that DLC packs run out in March, or something like that, or January, February, March, maybe May, March or May, something like that. I highly doubt that they would give us a DLC pack based on a movie that comes out in November in March or May. I just don't see that happening. I just think that's highly unlikely. But if they did, that would be amazing, because then we get the Marvel Cinematic Universe Doctor Strange. I think Baron Mordo as well. You know, it would just be so cool. Now, again, I can't think of 6 DLC packs. I've tried, and I literally cannot. I was going to say Agent Carter, but there's already Agent Carter content in this main game. I mean, you get to play as Peggy. You get to play in her era and do some missions for her. They could maybe still add a DLC pack for that show, and maybe a whole mission devoted to that character, and maybe you get Jarvis and other characters from that show or something like that. But the one thing that I do think we're going to get is probably Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely going to get a DLC pack for this game. I think that's a very popular show. I think it's not like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all those. I think it's probably more likely, because those ones are a lot more violent, and from what I've watched of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm pretty sure that kids can watch that. I'm pretty sure that having content from that show in LEGO Marvel's Avengers wouldn't be too non-child appropriate. I'm pretty sure they could do that, but you know, I could be entirely wrong. So yes, that is what I think this game's Season Pass might have. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I just really hope all of that comes out, because, come on, you all know that sounds amazing. I mean, this game is already amazing, but just having content from the most recent Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and possibly even all of 2016's Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, that would just be amazing, and really, in a way, set you up for the next few years of Phase 3, which would just be so cool. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, sorry if I went on a bit about the Season Pass. I just wanted to make it perfectly clear that we don't know anything about that yet. And I also wanted to give my thoughts on what I would like to see in the Season Pass, because, you know, like I said, this game is huge, and just having content from all these new films would just be a really nice added bonus. Alright guys, so I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.